Gideon, in the meantime, would you like to share how was your welcome? How was your Halloween?
Oh, it was good. Very quiet, actually. Yeah, we got all this candy and it was not enough trick or treaters, sadly. But it was good. Good pumpkins.
Nice.
Adults still trick or treat. I love trick or treating.
Yeah. Are we ready, Ted?
We are recording.
Nice. So we have a bit of agenda for today. Just briefly summarizing what has happened this week. We did a work session and work on some parts of the survey and some parts of the guides, terms and condition. And I share on the group the latest version of the content and the final version of the content, basically. This is the final version, since we will keep the other document as a way to sort of keep track of things. Nice hotel, MS. And basically the idea is to put this clear and clean in another document. So I went with this with Vi before. Basically, the same thing we talked about before. Here it's a thing that we also need to tweak it a little bit that I will do tonight, which is the verification gets sent when you verify. The version right now has some. This message right now has some like grammar stuff and it sounds too harsh, so I will tone it down a little bit. And I will ask anyone here that has a better English than me to also correct it if it is possible once it is done. And we have the survey. Basically, we came down to this on the last session. So we will going to keep hello Drugaras. We are going through the content of the onboarding journey, just to put you a little in context. The document it's on the Communitas Discord. So we are going through the survey, and we decided to again keep the phrasing of the how would you like to be addressed, and there is a possible solution for this that was brought by Gideon, which is here in the working group, which is um, an option to sort of click and assign your pronoun. Also, Nick, you mentioned the option to make it a journey, a sort of like quests. And we basically, I thought that was a great idea to have a quest. It's explained on the Communitas Tech channel. I think it could be good to have that in the second version of the journey. So for now, basically the things that you see as A, B, C, D in the second question, they will be triggered or choose based on an emoticon, an emoji. The same goes for the third one, and then the rest are just filling the box. And then there is the option to skip the question that we will. It will depend on the possibilities regarding to buy and how complicated it could be or not to have that. Then I also asked Vi about what kind of information gets sent to database when someone clicks on the emoji. Do I get the emoji in the database or do I get the text? And he expressed that you get the text, you don't get the emoji. So that's a good sign. And then finally, we have the guide being the final part. So this is right now, this is a screenshot of the fake server of the buttons that exist right now. We talked with Vi, and actually, for example, he put this unintentionally, but the praise one, I think it's a really good one to keep on the guide. So tentatively, I left what is TEC. I took out what is talking engineer. I and the rest are kept. And yeah, and I like the price actually. And then basically, I'm filling the information for this small text that says some info about the DEC, and I fill the blanks. There are things that still needs to be worked out and tested to see if they fit the space in the Discord message. Small changes. These texts are from the website, with one exception, which is labs. I talked to YGG because his description on the website it's just a line that doesn't say anything. and this was provided by YGG, this description. And then this is a follow-up of the section of the working groups, TEC calendar, how to contribute, and project management tool in case people who are seeking into issues or whatsoever. How to use TEC Discord. This will be prompt a small video that still needs to be done. What is praise? This is the definition from the Gitbook. And I think there is a white paper or a Medium article about praise. I couldn't find it, and I was hopeful that I don't know, Tam or Libby, if you know where is this Medium article, because I couldn't find it. To just have the link for further people to take a look at it. If you know where it is, just drop the link there. How can I submit a proposal? I don't know if the visuals that Libby is preparing to fit here, but small description provided by Softcop, or we can use a template that is on the forum. And I want to contribute to the TEC, I still need to paste the content that is on the forum. So this is a little bit of the final content. Just 3 or 4 things are left to be added. So we'll pass it on quickly. So everyone can provide feedback, a minute each, and I will pass it on to MS to start it up.
There we go. I don't have my whole setup today, so like I don't have my unmute button I'm used to. Everything's looking really good. It's come together from, before I had left last week, which is super cool to see. I think all the content I was reading through looks good so far. So I planned on tonight giving it another once over and then leaving any comments. But thank you, Eduardo, for bringing that together to make those final dots. I will pass it over to Gideon.
Yeah, I don't have much. Did you just want me to talk about that idea of the pronoun selection? I saw that's what you had, Eduardo. Is that right? If so, yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward if people saw that. I thought it was a clever idea. Forefront had it. You basically you select the emoji, which Forefront had is just different colors. And what's cool about it is that can then, that indicates what your pronoun preferences are. And then what's nice is that stays with you. So anytime anybody clicks on your profile, that's just right there. So I love that idea. And then Nick was proposing or suggesting in the Communitas thread that we could extend that. And I love that idea. Like we could, that could be like longer term anyways. I mean, I think everybody's in agreement. I think that like right now we just have to ship, right? Just get this, the enemy of the good is the perfect. So we got to keep going. But it's nice to be thinking about this as maybe a path forward for doing engagement, longer term engagement, and giving kind of a visual feedback to people like where they are in the journey. I'll stop there.
Will you pass it on to someone?
Yeah. Let's go to Nick. Talking about it.
Well, I was thinking like it doesn't even have to, like it's fairly easy. Well, I don't know if Vi's gonna be doing the behind the scenes coding of choosing a role and whatnot, but I mean, I can even just write up a document being like, hello, new members, your first quest is going to this channel, picking your pronouns, and your next task for that quest is, choosing your skills, and the next task is choosing what your interests are, and then, that information can go to the people who actually reach out to the new members in one-on-one calls. It's just like, at least they have something to do immediately, right? And the one-on-one calls can be more focused. That's just what I think. I pass on to Pam.
I think that there's so much good stuff in here. I think we're almost ready to deploy this. Thanks for doing all of this. And I'd say I really like that we're really close. I'd say a lot of I requested access. I don't know why I don't have access, but I'd like to help with some of the text that we have, just to rephrase some things and clarify some things too. For the guide, I think it's a good starting point. I mean, I love the idea is that we have the MVP, we deploy the MVP, and then we have lots of things that we can do in the future. Even this role guide. I mean, this not role guide. This select roles so that select pronouns so that it becomes a role. I love that. I don't think it's part of the MVP though. I think this is part of the next iteration of what we can do. So I really think that a lot of the things that aren't critical to deploy now should just wait. And to what Nick is saying, I think that's really cool. I mean, we've talked about gamifying the experience for a very long time, so it's definitely very well aligned with where we can see this going. I think maybe the very first step of that is is part of the welcome message, or as part of when you've joined and you landed and you have some things to do. What we used to do was have the person who's doing onboarding share a list of videos that they can see and forum posts that they might be interested in reading. So there was always sort of this here's a little package for you to sort of start digging deeper, because finding there's a lot, and picking 5 things that a person can look at first makes it much easier for them than getting overwhelmed with everything. So that's how we were handling it before, and I think that having a larger view of the gamification could be really nice. That's the first step, but then what's the second step and third step and fourth step and fifth step? That can be another future version of this onboarding experience. I'll pass to Durgadas.
We cannot hear you, Durgadas, if you're talking. I can see you're unmuted, but there is no sound. We still can hear you, but we can come back at you. How about you? Oh, there you go.
I forgot that I had push to talk about. Yeah, it looks like an onboarding journey, and I like it better than any of the other onboarding stuff that I've seen so far. So I don't have anything particular to add, other than I'd like to see beyond that a little bit. But sorry, I'm behind. But I'll pass it to MS.
I have gone already. I will pass it over to Livia.
Thank you. I think it looks really great. I'm trying to look for this article you were talking about, Eduardo, but maybe you're thinking about the trusted seed one or the C-Stack score, because I don't think there was ever an article written only about praise. That would be more interesting to think about after we have the reward system set, and that would be a good idea. But for now, there is some explanation about praise in the Git book that we can use, and we also added the rules for dishing praise now that we're doing in the reward system chat. So I think that would be the best. Mm-hmm.
And regarding, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, I probably made that up in my mind. How to submit a proposal. Do you want to have this written by self-gov? How do you want to handle that part, just in case? I don't know if you have something in mind, or subtext for the diagram that you're doing, Katerina, and that's Lazy. I don't know. I just wanted to.
Yeah, that we chatted today about the deadline being next Monday, so we'll have that ready by then. So we can add that there, and also a link to the written format.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome, Lutzar. We are going through the onboarding journey of our Discord. We are trying to implement it quite soon, hopefully. So we are going through our process and the content that we are going to have it. You can share, you can see in the Communitas Tech channel our agenda and the content and the document. How about you, let's listen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think this is my first community test, and I see that you guys are doing a great job. These small details are doing the difference, and it looks cool. And congratulations, guys. And I think bye, baby.
So I had pretty satisfied with how this is turning out. I do have a few thoughts on having the program rules. So what I think we could do is have a channel. For now, what we could do is have channel first to selecting rules and putting their pronouns and their interests in there. Instead of inserting this into the onboarding, because I don't think that's something they can navigate at the moment. And I think quests are something we could look into right now in the MVP, maybe sometime later. And I think quests are something that should be designed separately as a more like thoughtful overview of the whole system. So yeah, I think we could look into that later. But if we want the role selection, that could be done pretty easily at the moment. I don't even need it to be done in this one. We can have another work to do that. There's a ton of bots in the server that probably support that role selection with uh, with this message emoji thing. So we could have that running right now if we want.
All right. Does anyone else have something else before we, I think, are very close to close this part of the burden journey? Before we move on with the agenda. 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. So, the second big thing of the coming weeks is the outreach to hatchers, and we basically we are basically starting to outreach everyone. We had a conversation today that was interesting with Livy in transparency and Septimus and the rest of the team, because certain processes in transparency, so we could take advantage that when we outreach people, we will do we'll give them things, not things to do, but there will be an interesting possibility for the outreach. This is hard for me to explain it properly. So basically what we're going to do is that we have a calendar for Params Party that is quite packed at the moment. So the idea is that the people get involved and learn about the Params Party in order to be informed for the common secret that is coming. So right now, what we have done so far is there is there is a document where we are tracking everything. It's the same that we use for new members, but I created a new tab that is for this campaign basically, and Jean also is on board on helping with this process, and we previously, just to keep track of who we had outreach, we created a tab that says previously notified by. So in that way, we know who notified that person before. But the idea is that any of you who may or not be interested on help with the outreach, it's to just basically add the message here. I need to still add the HackMD document to the message that I'm sending out. So I don't know, Livy, do you have time for? Do you uploaded the buyout stuff? Buying?
Did I upload the buy-in?
Yeah, you wanna upload something to the forum in order for the people to vote and be informed also, no? Or am I just making this up?
I think Mitch was gonna do that,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just chatting with Tim before, and maybe it's not so clear this process. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, for me, I would rather just invite them to Params Party and to give them context, um, and then do a second outreach for choosing the signaling people. I don't know the multi-sig part. I don't know, Tam, if you have better insight on this than me.
My feeling is that we need to get out the Params Parties communication like now. So I think that if we have very clear process for the nominations, I think we should definitely include it. But I think we would cause more confusion than less if we send something that is complicated or ends up being wrong. So I think the priority is uh, to encourage participation in the Params parties. I think we stay focused on that. And if there's another communication that we can bundle or share at a future time, we should include it, but we should not pause. I mean, the Param parties are happening. There's some today, there's some tomorrow, so it's more important to have people join the party than to to the parameterization of our economy. So I think we should get started, and once we have more clarity on the nomination for the multi-sig for the initial buy-in token pool, then we can include that.
Yeah, and there's also a forum post explaining the whole Purim process, and that one
Yep.
could be promoted a lot.
Yeah. I think our communication is a few sentences with a link to that forum post, actually, and a link to the dashboard.
Yeah. Can you drop the link in this agenda, Evie, if you have it there? No, I will
Yeah.
look further.
Mhm. Is it
Alright.
the content onboarding journey you're at, or
In the agenda.
another one?
Sorry. Is there anything else you would like to mention about the outreach tent? Or anyone else?
No,
Who's
I'd
interested
I wonder if we have any volunteers. Like I volunteered to do it. Of course, you volunteered to say Jean would volunteer. I guess is 3 people what we have in mind for the outreach, or did we think we wanted more people to help volunteer? The work is just to reach out individually, either through Telegram or Discord, with a little message and be available to answer any questions somebody has.
Yeah, and just after you do the outreach, you just update this document with the date that you outreach and just add your name to the person.
And I'll add that it doesn't sound like a lot of work, but actually it ends up being hours and hours and hours of messages. So you think that it's like, oh, I'll just, mass send all these messages, but then you have to reply to all of the incoming requests. So if like you need to have a bunch of hours that you could be like, for this big hour, like I am just going to message people in our community and make them feel warm and loved and answer their questions and catch up and all these things.
Yeah. All right. I will add the draft for the message tonight, and that will be the go to start doing. So yeah. Does anyone else have something to comment on the outreach part? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Update orientation data. So I had a conversation with Jean last week, and I used to do the orientation data information and the outreach on orientation, which is the public outreach to new people. I tend to do it either Monday or Tuesday, and then on Fridays. And then what we're gonna do for now is that I'm gonna do Tuesdays, and then Gene is gonna take on Fridays. So if you guys look at what he in the past message and orientation channel, he has done the welcoming to people. we did a small walkthrough to the process, so he gets familiar with that, and we are just trying to find our tone and the way to do it properly. There is no proper way to do it. It's just we just have to do it. So we are getting there. So if any of you just want to gauge or provide feedback or just say, hey, avoid this or hey, improve this, you're more than welcome to provide feedback on this matter. It will be quite helpful for us, actually. Yes, Nick.
Sorry, I realized that I wasn't muted the whole time, so I just muted.
It's okay. So yeah, that's the update on the orientation data. There is not much besides that. Some very interesting people joined the past week. That's pretty much all. Besides that, we have another point on the agenda is that we have the TEC Lounge. This time, some of them are the TEC Lounge last week was mixed with the Params Party. But I would like to encourage people here in this call to show up 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Hello, BF8. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm cool. Thanks.
Nice. Welcome to this working group call. We are talking about the points of the agenda that is on the screen. And as I was mentioning, basically, I would like to encourage everyone to participate. Or if you see someone or you welcome someone to the DEC, to just let them know that this space exists and let them know to join. So we can have a nice dynamic of Params parties and hang out and just talk about something else. So we don't get all about one single thing. It's only Fridays 5 p.m. So there is a space for that in case you guys can just drop in 2 minutes, any amount of time you are able to. Next, we actually had an idea with Vi today on the scene that it's quite interesting, which is once we get certain certainty about the onboarding journey, it could be nice to have a medium article about our process and our intersection in between automatization and human touch, basically what we're trying here to accomplish. Does anyone have a thought about this? Is interested in writing something about this?
Yeah, I was wondering about the Params parties myself, and I've been kind of ignoring them, but I can see that maybe I need to show up. So, glad I can.
Yes, and there is. Yeah, go ahead.
If nobody else is interested in doing that, I would be happy to do like an outline of a story on that.
Please. The idea is to yes, time. Oh yeah, just not.
I'm just visually saying that's very exciting.
So I think it could be really nice. Look, there is this thing of visibility, and I think if we don't put out our processes and if we don't share our processes, we can. It's harder to learn. And I think this is a good starting point. And I was mentioning this also to MS and to BYB that I would like them to share on the community call this process of the onboarding journey, since you guys, I mean, Bai was a huge proposal for this process and so on. I want the community also to know that there is community members who works for the community, and I think this is important for us. It could be medium articles, it could be community call, it could be as far as you feel comfortable with dealing with that. But yeah, I encourage you to help with that if possible. And I mentioned this to MS and to Bayobi in our previous thing. But yes, regarding the article, of course, Gideon, just completely. I mean, you have a view of that. So the idea for this article would be to have just part of the bot coming from Vi, and then frame it, you know, in something that it's interesting and relatable for everyone. Jessica, you gonna say something? Oh, sorry. Oh no, just yeah.
So one thing that I'd like to mention is since we're doing TEC Lounge, and if anyone remembers, Swankar did this really active day of icebreakers in the last in one gravity session. And I think a lot of people like that. So, but the platform we were using was kind of broken. So, like, another community that I have worked with, Eddie Hub, I've been making a bot for doing that. We made it last week. That's like out in production, like stable. I think we use it on TEC Lounge. So what it does is it like breaks down rooms into smaller groups for like more one-to-one discussions or something like that. If you'd be interested in that, I think Gravity did something like that, and people really like that. Just wanted to mention it so that it's in, we know about it.
Before passing to you, Douglas, you were breaking a bit by, but if you can maybe type it or just share the link of this idea, that would be less. Just Douglas.
Oh yeah. So what he was mentioning actually, if you take a look at liberating structures, there's a meeting methodology called 1-2-4 all, and what you do is you basically give people time to think on their own. So that's the one. Then you break people up into two, talk between two people. Then you break it into four, and then you talk to them as a group, and then you bring all of that back to the group, which is then the all portion. So it kind of reminded me of what he was saying of that particular liberating structure. So I just want to point that out.
Do you have any reference or any just link to that you can drop about that?
Yeah, liberatingstructures.com. I also have I bought the cards. They actually have these sort of giant printed cards. Here, I'm going to turn my video on, where they have all the different things like wicked questions is one. So appreciative interviews. So some of these things actually would be really good in terms of onboarding, like 15% solutions, discover and focus on what each person has the freedom and resource to do now. Troika consulting, get practical and imaginative help from colleagues immediately, right? So there's just all these things about, different ways to have meetings and quite good. So. So we can talk about that another time, but it might be actually an interesting thing to involve some working group on, taking a look at the liberating structures and seeing how the individual working groups might use them in different situations, So, so it just reminded me of that, and I wanted to just bring it up as a kind of a new thing. So I hope it's helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, I will. If you can share the text channel.
Yeah, I'll put a link in to a couple of things.
That will be helpful. Thank you. Regarding besides that, there isn't much. The typical question: how we praise everyone works this week. The question I put the question out there just in case you have forgotten to do so. And besides that, that's pretty much for the call for today. I didn't have any other item in the agenda. I will wait for feedback from everyone on the content document. I saw Tam has added some stuff. Everyone is welcome to provide feedback to this. This is still in the process. I am hoping and aiming to have the onboarding sort of presented if possible in the community poll. Present the fake server on the community poll. If we have chance to do so, that would be ideal. If not, we can pass it on for the next week. But I think we already are very close, and I would like to push for that. So yeah, I don't know. That's my last line. I don't know if there is any other idea or thing to comment.
I have a question, you do, real quick.
Yes.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
I noticed on the content onboarding journey document that you shared with us, you have a survey on there. Do you want us to fill this survey out, or is this for other onboarding participating members?
Yeah. So basically, what you see in the content is the sections that our onboarding journey has. So this is what the content people will see once they enter to our server.
Got it. You don't want me to like fill this out myself, right?
Now, you can do it. You should have received, and I think you received and filled it out, a survey that had 2 questions on your DMs when you arrived to our
Yes.
Discord, and this is this is basically an improved version of that 2 questions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Just a minute. You're gonna say something?
Yeah, so this week just I'm in the city, but besides that, I'm happy starting next week too for the community calls to hop in and speak with around whatever projects we want to discuss and everything. I'm happy Gideon's taking on the medium though, because if I was to write something, it's very robotic, like a technical writer. So I'd bore everybody fall asleep. So and then the other note, just about praising everybody for their work. It's been really exciting to be able to do that because over the past 3 weeks here, I think almost everybody on this call too, for the most part, I've interacted with, and without those interactions, I wouldn't feel as comfortable or motivated to pursue the things that I am in the community. And I think what we're doing here together is really, really cool. That's it.
Thank you for that. Yes, Gideon.
This is just a question about praise. I don't know the answer to this. If we see that somebody else has already praised somebody for something that we also appreciate, what should we do? Should we all? Is it okay to also praise, or does that double count in terms of the mechanism of collecting praise? Can somebody clarify that for me?
Yeah, so the way we're looking into that now in this new process is that praise will be anonymized but collected to. So, sorry. When you're a quantifier, you're gonna see all the praises that one person received, but you're not gonna know who's that. So you will have an understanding if they were praised multiple times for similar things. And that might mean that you want to quantify all of those praises because maybe if they're being like very seen by something they did that deserves a little more value. But we're also introducing a tag where you can label duplicated.
So basically, yes, double praise. And let the quantifiers do the job in case it is necessary.
Okay, so it means that the praise giver will not be shown, but the server receiving the praise will be seen, right? Okay. So quick one about this survey. How soon is this survey going out? I know you're still working in progress.
Say what, sorry?
The survey. How soon is it going out? How soon is it going out? Are we pushing it out to the community to fill?
Survey.
Yeah.
How soon is the survey going to be released to be notified by the new members?
Oh, I speak bad English.
No, I don't.
No, thank you.
The survey will be launched with the rest of the of this content. Hopefully, I think the question for the correct answer probably it will be given by Vi regarding the timing because he's the guy who will put this content on the fake server or the new server. So, but I think we will see it in the next 2 weeks. Bye.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, it should probably be maximum 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm planning on getting this done this week itself if I can. There's been some small problems with like making it work, but walk through those.
I hope that clarifies the question.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, basically we are looking for that, and then after we do this first iteration of this onboarding journey, then we can incorporate the feedback or change, for example, the menus. I didn't share the statistics of the TEC. That I don't know if you guys have taken a look at the Communitas, the Discord statistics that I shared last week. Does anyone had a time to take a look at that?
Where is the link for that?
It's on the Discord, but it was way below. Let me
Can
share
you
it.
post it in the agenda?
Yes. And no, it's a document, so I have to upload it to the text channel.
Um,
It's a PDF, but I will share it now. There you go.
and just to answer your first question, BFA, both the praisers and the people being praised will be anonymous, so it's not one or another.
Oh, I see. I see. So, how did you? Okay, I think I get it now. So, I'm concerned about how to flag a duplicate phrase, but since we, I'm sure there's something that will show that okay, this phrase this towards is being given to this anonymous A and B or anonymous Z and Y. You know, so without know when to say, oh, this is a duplicate, or I think it's something that we need to praise because the what the person has done is deserve that and very paramount. Yeah.
Yeah, I can work with you about that because I know we're off topic a little bit of the call here. I just wanted to answer that question, but Edu, you were going for the dashboard. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, this is a safe space, so you can ask whatever you want. So this is just I share a little bit on the community call. I shared again. I thought I completely slipped my mind. This was done by Septimus, bringing out data, and then I just put it in a nicer way. Key points. Just to give context to a lot of people here that probably were not part of the server at the moment, but we had a hatch which was brought a lot of people to the server on August. So you will see a decrease in the activity in between August and September, and that's due to that because we didn't have that same kind of momentum on September. But basically, it shows basically how many members we have. And this is just for context again, this is the starting point before the onboarding journey. So the idea is to go back to this document and see in a month how the onboarding journey, once it is implemented, how it has affected its statistics. That's the intentional idea of this. This is the key metrics. Communicators, they call communicators to everyone who has sent a message or told in the server. That's the concept of communicators. Visitors are people who have seen more than 3 channels. That's the other key component here. So you can see the general statistics, steady growth. This is the raw number. We have had, this is people who have stayed, basically. 48 people out of the 100, 200 people that we had new people, 48 had stayed and talk and text. Some others have stayed but have not done anything. So 48 is the sort of communicator final number. And there are some interesting stuff about levers is that we don't have many levers, and you can see here based on if they are less than a month or if they were older than a month, and the amount of people who had left the server in between August and September. So you had a decrease in September. These ones were the ones that were more interesting for us because it's basically the interactions what that people does when they arrive. So we expect on this one to have with the onboarding journey to have an increase in at least in message sent, and it will be probably also increase on how many channels and the amount percentage of people and how many channels they have visited. The next one is the one that is relevant. It's if new members arrive, stay after the first week. We see that we had a huge retention in August because in August there was the hatch, so a lot of people stayed during the first week, and then we saw that in September the retention fell. Because it is how it works. And then where people came from, different spaces that I still need to check. I don't know what is energyweb.org, for example. I have no clue how people arrive from that page. And we have also the amount of message sent. This is a funny and interesting data because it basically said that even after the hatch, people send more messages than before the hatch or during the hatch. So people stay, even if people left, people stay more active. And but they had less voice activity. So more messages were sent, but it was talked less. And the rest is the part that I'm the most proud of is basically that the orientation channel is the one that has the most leaders. So it works in a way, the orientation channel, and then you can see the one that has the most messages, for example, is the praise, which also validates our system. So it means people are sending a lot of messages there. And also, the other one that has the most shatters are the general channel. And then you see how certain working groups have more activity and other working groups have less activity. I think it could be interesting to have a higher activity for a matter of transparency. I think also in the working groups, it could be interesting to have more engaged also. And this is the forum. Basically, a lot of people go to the forum. Well, a lot of people, a bunch of people go to the forum, but they do not register and they do not sign up or do not comment. So we have a lot of viewers, a bunch of viewers, but very few login users. So that's to take in consideration how we sort of make people stay. And this is other stuff, which is out of the 12 new members who joined the forum in between the 25th of September and 25th of August, 4 of them became contributors, meaning that they log in and meaning that they message and or text or did something on the forum. This is just a general view. Does anyone else want to comment on this before we finish the call?
We have some neat metrics, but there are a few more that I personally like to see. One is like average pushes on GitHub, like how are we increasing, if we are increasing. Number of average voters in a post. I think that's really accurate, like representation of how well we're doing. Average number of people joining a voice channel for a call. If more people are joining, then probably more people are more than some votes. And the one is number of new contributors added. I'm not sure how we can automate that. We'll probably have to manually track it, like who stays and who contribute.
Yeah, we can. I mean, that's key data. We can add it to the same chart for sure. If you can just take a screenshot of those ones that you mentioned, just drop them in the Communitas channel for everyone else to see if they want it, and I will add it to this document for sure. Thank you, Bob.
So the issue is, I don't think they are tracked right now. So we have to set up something like that. There's something that we can maybe keep in if you're looking at data and future.
Tam, any thoughts before we finish?
Can you say that one more time?
Just any thoughts, if you have any thoughts.
Anything? Is it a specific question? Sorry, I was really focused on something else. I had one ear on.
Just about before closing up, if you had any thoughts about the document, the data, or anything else you want to say.
No, I don't. I think we've covered a lot, actually.
There you go. Well, thank you everyone for joining this call. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I shadow the words of MS. You guys being part of this process helps the process and actually validates what we're doing. So thank you so much for that.
This is my
Thank
very
you, Edu.
first really fast call, so thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone. Take care.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Eduardo.
everyone.
Thank you.